So why do you guys think voting is such a important thing for citizens to partake in? What do you say to the skeptic that says, "Hey, I vote or I don't vote, but my elected officials don't, they don't represent me"? What do you say to the skeptics of voting in general?
You want me to go first, Professor Smith, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me tell you, first of all, some of the times, I might hear, oh, my vote don't count, it doesn't know, or why even bother voting? And one of the things that I tell folks right off the bat, that if your vote didn't matter, there wouldn't be so many people putting in so much resources into stopping you from voting. So obviously there is some value in the vote, right? But then when I look, I like to look at use as an illustration. We talk about South Florida, when I speak about the importance of voting, and this gets me a little hyped, so excuse me moving around, right? But when we look at, for instance, if I'm the mayor of Miami or Dade County, right, and I look at Liberty City, right, and I compare it to, say, Pinecrest, which is a more affluent area, right, that actually dictates a lot of things, right? So when I look at Liberty City, right, the first thing I see is that there's a lot of people in Liberty City who can't vote because of a felony conviction. And that's because of the over-policing that we see in, like, say, the Liberty Cities or the over towns, right? But you don't see that in that type of policing in, say, Pinecrest. Now, this is what happens, right? At the end of the day, right, as a politician, their number one job is to get reelected. And so they're going to be steered towards by who are voting or what those people look like and what they want. Well, as a politician, when I look at Liberty City and see that a third of the people can't vote because of a felony conviction, and then after the remaining folks, maybe 10% show up to vote, in my head, in the back of the head somewhere, it's like, well, those people, they can't put me in office, nor can they take me out. So why should I care about their kids dying and getting gunned down in the street? Why should I care about aggressive police tactics? Why should I care about the quality of education? Why should I care about the quality of their roads, right? But now you let a puppy get run over in Pinecrest, you best believe the mayor have a press conference that same day, right? And that's because when they look at Pinecrest, they see that a majority of people can vote and they have the resources to actually contribute to that politician's campaign. So unfortunately, even if I was Malcolm X reincarnated, as a politician, I can't afford to care about what's going on in Liberty City as much as I care about what's going on in Pinecrest. But when you talk about restoring the right to vote to people with felony convictions and reinvigorating a conversation about civic engagement, right, which, just to give you just a brief history, back in the civil rights era, back during AC's time, right, when Dad went to go vote, everybody got up and went to go vote. Everybody got dressed up and went to go vote. And voting was a family discussion at the dinner table. However, when you cut the head off a snake, the body dies. So when you strip mom of the right to vote and dad of the right to vote, you kill a conversation about civic engagement, right? And so you have this these factors that are contributing to the low turnout. You empower the returning citizens in those communities. You reinvigorate a conversation around voting. Now, all of a sudden, those same communities that's been marginalized and ignored for so many years, all of a sudden now become the deciding factor, right? And become the central point now of politicians. When our communities are empowered to be able to register to vote and take that power and not let it remain dormant and actually operationalize that power by voting, then we can change the conditions that we're facing in our communities. We have the power to do so. We've shown it in different places throughout the country. We've shown it here in the state of Florida, and we could do much more.
The three other quick things that I want to point out to add on to the statements by Desmond. There are three misconceptions that people have also. There are some people who do not register and vote because they believe that registering to vote will require them to serve on jury duty. That used to be the law, as Desmond would say, back in Professor H.T. Smith's day. Now, if you have a driver's license, you can be called to jury duty. So I want to make sure we disabuse people of this thought that, well, I don't want to be down in jury duty because I'm gonna lose my job or lose my money from my job that I need. Voting, registering to vote has nothing to do with jury service. That's number one. Number two, my vote doesn't count. Desmond said it. The 2000 presidential election was decided by 527 votes in the state of Florida. Trust me, your vote makes a difference. Third, the people that say, I'm not in politics, so I don't vote. You might not be in politics, but politics is in you. Politics is in everything that's important in your life. Politicians decide how much taxes you pay for everything you buy. Politicians decide on Pell Grants and monies that people can use to go to school. Politicians and politics determine how and much and what you can pass down that you've earned to your children. Politics can determine whether an incinerator or a prison or whatever, or a liquor store is placed on your block in your community. So you're in politics. It's like if a guy starts punching you and you say, I'm not in a fight. Yes, you are. If a guy's punching you, you're in a fight. No, I'm not fighting. I'm a peace guy. I'm not a fight. You in a fight.
Yep.
So everybody that's alive in the state of Florida today is in politics. The question is whether you're going to have some say-so in how politics treats you, how you're represented, how your issues are being addressed. So I want to make sure that's said.
So tell us this, if you're a citizen and you want to vote, you want to get educated, where do you find the best resource? What is the best resource to really understand the issues in your current community, and who the best candidate may be to vote for?
Well, first of all, we want to make sure that people know there are three ways to vote. One, you can vote by mail. People call it mail-in and absentee. Basically, it's the same thing. The second way, a lot of Black people vote in South Florida, is early voting. There are 2 weeks starting from October 19th up to November 1st, with the Sunday before the election. And so that's number one. Number two, the election supervisor's office, as well as in the Broward County and Dade County, has information about not only the candidates, a little bit about their biographical background, about their education, about their stance on various issues that they put forward. So there's a tremendous amount of information on the county election supervisors' websites. And so you want to find out, about your polling place, about being a poll watcher, about being a poll worker, about the days to vote, about how to vote. All of that information is on the website of the county elections supervisor. With regard to the mail-in ballot, which a lot of people are going to use, that during the early voting period, there are lock boxes just for ballots that you can just drive by and put your ballot in that box. For people who don't want to take a chance to go inside buildings because of their fear of contracting COVID-19, you can just drive by, put it in the drop box, and then you can follow your ballot online, just like you follow your Amazon or your Amazon products, or follow your certified mail, and know exactly where it is and make sure it's counted.